Welcome to another episode of Humanly Plausible with your hosts, Rolly and Richard from the Pink Collective.
Welcome to another episode of Humanly Plausible. Today we're honored with our guest, Heather Frey.
Correct. Thank you.
Owner and founder of Smash Fit.
Smash
so
Fit.
As you can tell, she is fit.
Yeah,
so she's gonna,
and smashing.
Yes, and oddly enough, or not oddly, but Richard, why don't you talk to you? Why don't you let them know how you guys met?
And how we got to this wonderful day here. So I am a patron of LA Fitness in Coconut Creek.
Oh, I didn't know you went to LA Fitness.
Yeah, LA Fitness, Coconut Creek. And, you know, those of you that participate in gyms regularly, you know it's a community. And you get to know, like, your neighbors in your community. And there's some people that kind of stand out. People that, you know, you kind of just watch their, number one, their work ethic and how they flow and interact with people. And Heather was one of those people that just stuck out. It wasn't just her flowing red locks, I might add. It was just her overall spirit, and the fact that you could tell she's been doing this for a long time, and people, in terms of being able to tap into her experience as a fitness person, she was open to it. She would talk to everybody. She would just, you know, everyone knew her. So I said, I want to know her.
Oh, and Richard mentioned that when he did see you, he did extra cardio that day.
Okay.
Yes,
that's why I hover around people like this.
Yeah.
Hey.
No. You are inspiring though, because
so nice.
And
he said that he didn't say the cardio part. He said that you're inspiring.
Yeah, because she was doing some exercises that you just kind of look at and you say, I'm going to be a spectator on this one because it's just not within my capability of doing.
I could teach you.
Well. Yeah.
We'll do some handstands against the wall.
Yeah, the handstands and
special bonus feature. Richard and Rolly do handstands.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do it.
This is where I think it's a good segue for Heather to tell us a little bit about herself directly, because she accomplishes what she does based on where she came from and how she got here. So, Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And might I say, too, I meet a lot of people, and there are people you chat with, and then there's people you go, that was you. Like, we're immediately like, we're best buddies. What's 10 minutes? Okay. Yeah. So here's where I'm at, and I appreciate you saying that about the energy thing. So the reason I am here is because I struggled. I struggled like everybody. I struggled like a lot of you out there. What do I do? What do I eat? How do I work out? Everything. I had, and I think I mentioned to you, I had eating disorders when I was a teenager, and I just never really figured out how to do it right. Mm-hmm. And fast forward, doing wrong, this, not eating enough, blah, 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 exercising wrong. And I just had my second child. I walk into the gym. I see this magnificent woman. I'm like, that's what I want. Because I'd seen these magazines with muscular women, and let me just say there's a difference between bodybuilding. I have respect for all the athletes. But this figure had to do with shape and symmetry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Muscularity and symmetry. And that's what she had. And we connected. She's like, I could train you. I said, for what? She said, it's called figure. And I said, what is that? She said, well, basically, you get in the shape of your life. That's a sport. And I'm like, okay, sign me up.
That's pretty cool.
And so we did it. And I will say, excuse me, the night before, she trained me the whole time, 6 months, totally mind shift of what was important, what wasn't, food, all of that kind of stuff. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go. Night before. And I won't say why. So I went home.
I'm intrigued.
And I'll tell you later. I cried. I cried, and I said,
oh, wow.
I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's ridiculous. You have to make yourself look super brown. You have to glue. It's called bikini bite. Your bikini to your butt, so it does not roll in.
See, these are things people don't know.
You glue it. It's like a roller, like a deodorant, and you do that, and then you have to hold it there.
Get out! That is so. I mean,
that stays because it shows nice shape in your glutification. So my husband was very good, and he's like, "You are going. You got this. You trained. You're ready." So I go, and I ended up taking second. And the girls were really nice. You forget, you think you're all alone, but everybody sort of bonded. That's awesome. From there, once you did that once. So here I am, and what I learned and knowing the struggle and knowing how it feels and feeling behind. And over time, I figured it out, and I want to help other people figure it out because it has to do with how you feel. The looking good part, or feeling strong, or seeing your muscles pop, that's icing, but it's how you feel. You know this.
100%.
I do know it.
Yep.
I know it too.
You work out.
Yeah.
He does triathlons.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, so now I'm rehabbing my back, but yes, I Ironman, triathlon.
You have something I don't have, that endurance.
Well, that's what I love endurance sports. That's kind of
snowboards. He does all the sports, the extreme stuff.
I
just like to go to the gym.
Yeah. But it's a huge thing you're talking about because it's what we talk about all the time, and it's really how you're showing up too. Because even if you're like from not working out, I think the most important part is getting your mind set first before you're going to take on any of these things.
I'm going to say this: yes and no. I agree with you.
Which you don't have to, man.
So when I did it, and in terms of generally probably my audience is after I had my babies, I lost my groove. I'm like, this is it. I feel blah. Okay. And so I always said that for me and for a lot of people, fitness is outside in. Like you can't really change the inside yet. It does. So you're motivated by your reflection. You're like, gosh, I hate this. So you start that way.
Right.
But once you start, and then you're like, oh, I'm starting to see some stuff. Then you start to get motivated. Then I start to read and go, oh, this is how you do it. So once you start going and start to see the results, then your insides start to change. Then your confidence and how you approach solving the problem, not just not eating or working out 7 days for 3 hours. Those are not the answers. You start to seek the right answers. And that, you know this, you both know this, that's what changes you.
100%.
That's what changes you.
And so it kind of leads us to why Smash Fit, and also, based on what you just said, why the book that you wrote.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, she also, we didn't mention the book, so.
The book.
She wrote a book.
I did write a book. So Smash Fit began, excuse me, I'm so sorry, because it was going to be a website, a matching website. It was before apps. It was before you could kind of even template things. I had to pay people. Told you some of it, these people were unscrupulous, but Smash Fit was to match trainers to people. And it worked for a bit, but the idea of,
it required a lot of
perfect fitness, and that is what my trainer did. She did give me what I needed and exactly what I needed. But the book came around because while I was going through the mess of trying to build the website, it was backwards. I started building my social media first because the site was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So the book is a compilation of my thoughts I wrote for probably 8 years every day. So
What's the name of the book?
It's called Thoughts to Think, When Your Old Thoughts Aren't Working, basically. When your old thoughts aren't working, try some new thoughts to think. So it's just the mind turning, and you know this, and lately I've been talking to people about reframing. You can look at something like, I can't do this, and I've got, kids, and I have to work, all right? Or you can look at it from this way. I am so lucky. This is where my turn was. I get to have these kids. I'm going to figure out how to bring them with me. And I'm so lucky to walk in, and there are the answers. Reframe. So that's where a lot of my writing came from. It was life motivation, fitness motivation, things like that. Because when you turn how you think, you change what you do. I would say fitness isn't, it's not what fit people do, it's how they think. Because how they think determines what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
right? You don't just magically run.
Well, and that's what I like when they ask me about what it takes to, when every time I talk about Ironman, they're like, oh my God, I can never do that. It's crazy when you look at it from, 10,000 feet away.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. You got to start with that first step. So like when I first did my first Ironman, I barely knew how to swim. I could swim what I thought was swimming.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I remember the coach that I hired, he let me, so we were in the pool for a whole hour, which I paid for, and he basically let me do whatever I do for an hour. And he's like, don't stop, keep going. And I threw up after that. And he's like, well, see what you did today? Like, everything you did today was terrible. Like, you can never swim the Ironman like that.
Yeah.
So now you have a reference point. Now we know what bad is.
Yeah. And how
this
bad
guy's
that
the
feels.
best coach. And I'm paying you for this.
Yeah.
Right. And he just turned how you thought about it.
But he changed my perspective.
Love
And
that.
then now what he basically flipped is like, you cannot just rely on your strength. You have to start focusing on your mechanics.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question then. So what was the shift? He said, okay, we're not doing it that way.
Well,
we
now
want you to do it this way.
He basically wanted me to go all in what he was going to teach me. Which was mechanics. So I'm just going to teach you how to tread water properly.
Okay.
And I was like, yes. So when you do that right, you'll know because you're not going to throw up.
Well, and that's when I was so fed up, when this lovely person, who's my friend, said, oh, I'll train you, because I was ready to go like you, all in. You just tell me what I'm going to do, and I will do exactly what you say, and I do. And the problem I often have now, sometimes, and again, I have no judgment at all, because I've been there, but somebody just said, okay, so I want to lose, and I want to do this. I said, all right, I'm here. I'm going to help you. It's a friend. And I said, okay, we got to talk a little exercise. Okay, the eating, nutrition. I said, all right, we're going to have to talk about your macros. We're going to have to up some protein. She goes,
right.
And I'm like, okay, see, you're not all in.
You're not there.
Right. It goes back.
Willing to throw up.
Yeah. It goes back to the whole mindset of obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off the goal. Because instead of that being an opportunity, it was looked at as an obstacle.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's thinking those new thoughts,
Yes.
because we're so sometimes conditioned, often by bad habits, to kind of conform to this way of living, and now I need to make a change.
Because it's easier.
Yeah, it's easier. It's comfortable.
Exactly.
So-
exactly.
In light of opportunities, we're going to jump into the box because we could probably carry this
Okay.
together for 20
I
minutes.
know, at least.
So, here's the challenge and opportunity.
Right.
We don't know, like we mentioned before, what's going to come out of this box. Hopefully it's a piece
So
of paper.
exciting.
Yeah, so you just pick whatever piece of paper suits
All
your
right,
fancy.
we're doing this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. So you get to read it.
Oh, okay.
Do you need glasses? No. Because here.
I'll try.
Yeah.
How do you think a dysfunctional internal culture can compromise a brand from the inside out? That one's heavy.
That one's a heavy one.
All right, give me a sec. I have to think.
So let's put it in the context of Smash Fit.
All right.
Smash Fit is now a brand that everyone is engaging with. Whether it's to follow Heather and, all of the wonderful things, have access to all of your great work in your book, and you have a team.
Okay. Yeah.
You have a team, and you have a culture in that team. How would that internal culture of your team, especially with you as a leader, impact?
But I also so obviously that's the big one. But I think also if you looked at it in what we were just talking about, so the question is, how do you think a dysfunctional internal culture can compromise a brand from the inside out? So if we start to break down internal culture,
or
is what's happening, the internal dialogue within an organization or a person,
or a dysfunctional client,
exactly.
like the person you were just talking to.
So you can talk about that however you want.
All right. So I guess because there aren't a lot of people yet, we're growing. But what I think even more so is, how does a dysfunctional way people look at working out and fitness, and how does that? I feel like I'm climbing sometimes an uphill battle and trying to encourage or explain. There's so many. I do a lot of these. Lose weight now, lose belly fat, lose 25 pounds in a week, and all of this. These very quick fixes, this very negative culture of I need it fast now, and none of those things work. So I'm always being like, nope. I've told you, I've turned down tons of supplement. I'm sorry, I am not a fan of supplements. I'm not saying vitamins. I'm not saying certain things that your body needs. I'm talking about specifically, and I just did one about this, workout, pre-workout, the things that say, eat this and you'll burn fat. Those things are lies, and they're misleading. So I have to fight against that and go, don't take that. You have to do the work.
Right.
Okay, so that is sort of a dysfunction of I want everything now and quick and fast, but my friend did it this way, my friend ate that way. And I'm like, I'm lucky for her that did, and she didn't get hurt, because that's not really healthy. So I'm fighting against the dysfunction of how, to do things the right way.
So if we're going to keep it, like, let's keep it like in the health and fitness world. And this is a good example of it. What's the one with that they're offering the $10 monthly one, the cheap gym?
Is it UFit, Planet Fitness?
Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
So Planet Fitness is like, just come, whatever, like they're just catering to the average Joe.
Yeah.
So the way I'm receiving these their advertisements, it's like, we're not going to body shame you. We're not going to challenge you. We're not going to do anything. You just come and do your thing here. So there's a lot of stuff on Instagram and social media where they're making fun of a lot of people in Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Because they're all people from all different planets versus like where you go to like a gym where you walk in, the atmosphere is like people are like
the culture.
The LA Fitness I go to, like, usually when I go in the early, like for instance, if you go at 4 a.m, or 5 a.m, that the people there are dedicated and focused. Those guys don't mess around.
Yep.
So there's specific times throughout the day where you can sense a different culture.
Correct.
Versus going to a Planet Fitness. Like, I've never been to a Planet Fitness, so I'm stereotyping now. But I think
there were stories of shaming people who actually did want to lift weights and do things.
Correct.
I haven't seen that in a while.
No.
To be fair.
But that so and my point here is that when I go during these specific times that I'm talking about, I am more motivated to push and drive myself because
you're in that
of the existing culture that is happening at that moment where everybody is focused.
I love that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And even with your example too, I think part of what you're saying is, and can exist in any company and any brand, is not invested to do the work. Having no culture. And we were just talking in a previous episode about emotional intelligence, and when you're hiring people, are they at the level where they're willing to invest and do the work? And if they're not willing to do that, then your culture is going to be compromised. Right. It'll be dysfunctional because, there's no, I forgot who said it, but there's no shortcut to success.
Right. There isn't, and you need every step to figure out how to take the next one.
Yeah.
But I love that idea of the culture, and I will bring up my daughter very briefly.
Yeah, of course.
So I have 2 girls, incredible girls. My younger one is a freshman at the University of Michigan. She has a full scholarship for gymnastics.
Awesome.
So good. Both of them are so smart. But before we moved her to the gym, which is why I'm at that gym, she was at a gym where she was the best one there at 11.
Wow.
It wasn't good.
Because it didn't challenge.
That wasn't me going, oh, she's the best one there. No, it's not good. You have no one to challenge you, correct you, tell you how not to be afraid of your next step. So we found this incredible gym, and American Twisters, they're like top in the country. They were amazing. The culture, the moms, the kids, and they pushed each other to be better. And even the ones who were and my daughter, great, but there are a few that are here, even they were, come on, you got this.
Right.
That culture pushed her.
Right.
That's how you get there.
Right. And so that's kind of the big, because a lot of the work that we do is, working, when we first start working with the client, the first thing that we do is a discovery, an understanding of what they do and who they are as a business. And it matters a lot because of what this question really is about. And the thing is that we can go out there and market and bring you an audience, but what are you going to do with that audience?
Correct.
And if it's a group of people that are taking care of this audience, then what are those group of people like? So therefore, it's like you're saying, the whole thing about matching you to a trainer as far as Smash Fit concept, it's kind of the same idea where if your audience does not match what the organization is going to deliver, then it doesn't matter. You can spend all the money you want. We're going to bring you
to no one,
and you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
You're going to basically lose your investment or lose the one client that you got for that one time.
100%. Yeah. And so it's really interesting how when you even think about, when we're talking about culture, how gyms have a culture.
100%.
Yeah.
And how people feed off that culture.
Yeah.
And
at different times of day.
Yeah. That is 100% true.
But I've just had a few things, like you go at a certain time and awesome, and then you go a little bit later and some of the people have not learned.
Yeah, well,
quite yet.
Yeah, they're hanging out, looking at their phones, watching Netflix. I'm like, what's happening right now?
Those are the situations that make me feel like a grouchy old man, because in our gym sometimes
we're not that,
and I feel, it's internal, because I try not to let it manifest, because you know that at a certain time of the day when and I love high school students. I love you guys.
Oh, man. Here we
go.
We're on the roll today.
When they come to the gym and they come in packs and they're talking to their girls, like the girls are there just kind of watching the guys ego lift, and they're taking up machines, and, it's...
Yeah. I've had a few issues with my personal space lately, where I was telling you, I'm on a bench, and somebody...
we were talking about that, yeah.
And they stand right here. And then they go like this. And I'm like, hey.
How do we deal with that situation?
I'm very nice about it.
No, Heather's very nice, yeah.
I am very nice, and I just say, I might drop the weights on your toes. Could you, if you step back here, then you have all of this space.
And that's what you don't understand. There's nothing but space.
There's nothing but space. So, hey, or, I know you're new. I'm always nice. You don't learn a lesson if somebody's mean to you. So I get it. And they are new, and they may not know.
Yeah.
So I try to get the benefit of the doubt.
And this, it's the cycles. It's the beginning of the year. So we have a lot of new people.
Yes.
Who made their New Year's resolutions, but have never been in a gym before. Right. And those people, I have zero. In fact,
I love those people.
I seek them out. Hey, what are you trying to work? I see you're doing this exercise. What are you trying to work? And they are so appreciative, because you can tell. It is the, cats that are just like,
and that's a good attitude, that helps the culture. See, that's good, versus me, I'm like, what day? And they're like, what do you mean, what day? What days are you going to stop coming so I can show up?
I can see
that's too fun. I know you are.
I kid.
It's all good.
I'm like,
but so I guess one of the things is, I know we're coming to the close, but what do you think is important for people to know about changing your body and changing your mindset? If you had to leave a message to people about how those two things are intertwined and how they can be impacted.
So I'll say it and then I'll explain it. You have to want it really badly. Really badly. Because kind of wanting it means you're kind of going to do it, and you're kind of going to commit, and you're kind of going to learn this stuff. If you want it really badly, the answers are there. The answers will, and one of my favorite, leap in the net will appear. So if you want it, that was Louise Hayes, I think? I'm not sure. I did not make that up. So what I want people to know is that it's there, that you can have it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter if you are battling anything physically. You can overcome. I broke my knee and my foot. Another story, another day. I did American Ninja Warrior and hurt myself really bad. Okay, another day we'll do this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We should have started with that.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have to have her come back.
We'll do it. And
once again, I think how many times has Richard said that? Every guest. We're gonna bring them all at the same time.
We have great guests.
Everybody just wants to hang out.
So but I worked through those things because I wanted it more than I don't. So you have to kind of move away these dialogues you've had. I'm this, I've tried, I'm being boned.
I don't have enough time.
You can. And I've gone in and worked out for, 20 minutes. I brought my newborn baby and worked out 15 minutes, and then I'm right there. But, you can. And it was worth every second and every step, and I felt better every step of the way. And all of you can, too. You got this. Absolutely got this.
So as far as like somebody wanting to work with you, I mean, so these days, like how does someone work with you? Like
they can find me on my website at smashfit.com and see what I have available. And I mean, contact me. Like I will do things like have an hour consult. Okay. Like I just need to talk this through. I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm not sure. So you may not need a month. a lot of times I will go and take somebody to the gym and go, here's what it is. These are the machines. This is the workout I want, but you have to do it. Like I don't show up every time. It's not, I don't do the every time I show up with you, the one-on-one, but I am happy to, help create a plan.
And your Instagram, because you have some great content on your Instagram. I love your content. How do they find, what's your Instagram handle?
It's Heather Smashfit.
Awesome.
Like, I always hate saying this because it sounds weird, but if you, I don't mean it to sound like it is, if you Google me, Smashfit's been around like 10 years. So that's why it's there. So if you do Smashfit or Heather, you'll find me. And I want you to find me if you have questions or anything like that.
And we'll list it also on our website. But we appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you. I really had fun.
I knew this was going to be fun.
It was fun.
You're an amazing person.
Yeah, Richard is right.
So
you're super awesome.
Yeah.
So were you
You're
too.
motivating. I'm going to go work out right now.
Oh, man. I'm going to the gym
you
again
need
tonight.
that.
Right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we hope that, you will be back at some point.
We will have you back because you're kind of now like our health and fitness person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Anytime. And, because we'll chat. We're going to see each other. So I'll be like, hey.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Forget about me.
And we want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Once again to Humanly Plausible. I'm Richard.
Rolly.
And
Heather.
Awesome.
Have a great one, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.